Hmm? Ah!
You're listening to the Run for Your Lives podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I'm Daphne.
And I'm Pake.
And this is the Run for Your Lives podcast.
This episode, we're doing something. Usually, when we do special episodes, I say a little bit different, but no, this is a lot bit different. Very different. In a way that this week has been like super hectic and tiring and busy, at least for me. And so Daphne took the reins on this one to do something very different that I didn't have to do much work at all. But those who don't know, over this, full 7, 8 seasons, whatever it's been now, 100 plus episodes that we have done, Daphne has been, not so secretly, compiling and holding on to all of the audio files and stuff that we've cut out and things that we've removed or redone and all of that. And so we figured we'd let you peek behind that curtain a little bit and show you some outtakes, bloopers, alt-takes, things like that we've got from since the very first episode of the show, that going all the way back to the first season, just little bits and pieces that some are funny, some are just kind of like, us joking around between, before recording or during, and just stuff that's been taken out that Daphne has held on to.
Yes.
The real fun part for me is I don't know what she has decided to compile for this episode. She'll probably set it up and we might talk about some stuff, but as of right now, I'm completely unaware of anything that she's going to play and we'll talk about, so I'm curious. We'll see.
Well, as you said, this is season 8, 189 episodes. It's pretty crazy to think that we've recorded that many, but yes, I have been saving some things up. Just a few things. There's a lot of little mistakes and silly bloopers that happen. So I did put all of this together. Reminds me of when you did that whole AI-centered episode a while back, and I didn't have to do anything. You just said, trust me, and I trusted you, and that's what you brought, and it was great. I'm not sure how you'll feel about this one, because I realize that a lot of the bloopers are yours. There are some that are attributed to me, but many are yours because you
talk way too much. Got it.
No. You have funny little voices or little things that you do.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so that's what a lot of this is tied into. And I have quite a few clips. And if we get going and it's taking longer than I think it will, then we can split it up into multiple episodes. But we're going to start here with this first one. This was when you tried to introduce Insidious Chapter 3. So here we go.
This episode, we are talking about the supernatural horror film Insidious Chapter 3, written and directed by Lunu Wanano, Launi Nauni Wadi Hani Dadi. All right. Pronounce his name weird.
So, yeah. Those are the types of things that happen that I take out.
I remember that one. Yep, I talk too fast sometimes. I tend to, I don't know, maybe it's because I listen to all my podcasts on 1.5 speed that now when recording them, I'm just like, this is what podcasts sound like, so we gotta talk really fast. And then I get tongue-tied very easily.
Yes, I do as well. So, yeah, some of mine you'll definitely get to hear. So in this one, I'm just gonna play it. It's from when we did Megan. This one is all me. Akila Koopa. The The main accent came out big time, didn't it? Akila Cooper.
Super duper.
Sometimes when I get really tired, the main accent comes out real easy. And that night, Akila Cooper, of course, was in Megan. And that was me.
She was full-blown Akila Koopa that night.
Yes.
For a little bit.
Yes. It just makes me think of Goomba or Koopa or something to do with Mario Kart or Mario. Yeah.
This episode, there's just dots in the thing. No, no, I'll do one better. Just now, I have the doc, so I have to read the doc the way that it is.
I told you I didn't do anything. It's blank.
Right. Yeah.
I think that was when we did that special episode, the one that I was just talking about, and I didn't put anything in there because I didn't know what you were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And I'm a smart ass most of the time, so if you type something into the doc that we're reading our introductions and plugs and all stuff off of, usually if there's something in there, I'll read it as written, just because that's who I am.
Yes. And I don't want you to ever change. This one is when you tried to introduce Barbarian.
All right, we've did a little hip bow. How go how that all right, I'm like a French sim. Where it's not actually French.
Simlish is the best language.
It's French Simlish. All right.
I love the Sims. They're so fun. Okay. All right.
I don't know what that was. I was like, the English language. God, my brain is not working. All right.
Oh, man.
Try that again. Just like
Okay.
First 3 words I have to say, which is, well, we have, all came out as one word. Well, with me. All right.
You can't
I'm
see this.
Crying right now. Tears. Is that allowed? Am I allowed to laugh like that hard and like where tears are coming out at myself? I don't know if that's allowed, but I forgot. I blocked that out. I don't remember that ever happening. That's
Pake, we're allowed to do whatever we want on this podcast. We set that up way, way far ago.
Oh my God. Oh, it's like I don't know if I'm allowed to find myself that funny. That seems a little, but I just, for me from the past to just cracked future me up with French Simlish again. Holy shit.
It was even funnier because you said French Simlish, and that just made it continue on for a lot longer than usual. Okay. This one, well, I'm just gonna play it.
Audio file starts with a clap. I don't know why I do that. That's more for getting back on track, but it's fun.
It is what it is.
Yes.
I don't know why I was Irish for that. But it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Oh, it is what it is. They're always after me Lucky Charms.
You know, they say, why do you speak like that when you're not Irish at all? And I say, I don't know. I just do it. There's no real reason to it. It just happens.
Well, that certainly illustrates the diversity of the word. Oh, God, that sounded like Maggie McFly from Back to the Future 3. I don't want to do that again. What's right in front of him? Okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when we did Independence Day Resurgence.
But that was already that recent. I don't remember that. Again, it's crazy that my brain has shut so many of these out. I'm like, I don't recall that conversation ever happening. So, and it wasn't even that long ago. That was like last season. Oh no. Yeah. And I was a little worried. I was like, what is that voice? That's not me. I was like, oh, Ben. It's Ben.
This one, you were trying to promote one of our favorite podcasts that we like to promote on Run for Our Lives. Yeah.
Welcome to the Apocalypse. We've mentioned that before a lot. The improv comedy podcast with Randy and Elizabeth and Rob.
Rob.
You get that? Yeah, the improv comedy podcast there with Randy and Elizabeth and Rob. Not Elizabeth, that's the character. Jenny. See, I get it mixed up. Try it one more time. And then, of course, welcome to the Apocalypse.
Apocalypse. Apocalypse. And that was not that long ago.
No, I remember that one. Yeah, I was like, I said it, and I was like, I think I was trying so hard not to say Adam, as Rob plays Angry Adam, that I, like, completely swapped Jenny for her character voice. I'm like, when you're, again, so take this moment, again, throw that out there. If you haven't checked out Welcome to the Apocalypse, if you haven't checked out Welcome to the Apocalypse on Podcastica, it's great. Yeah, when the characters and improv actors on that show are so good that you can't differentiate between them and their characters. I guess that's a ringing endorsement. I don't know.
So this one is all me. Kind of. Yeah, I guess it's me. And with that, we've reached the end of another episode. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Oh my god, guess what? I didn't promote the first episode. This is because we had so much, I just didn't think about it. What's coming up next? You didn't say that.
It wasn't in the doc, so I didn't remember to do it.
Oh my god, let me see what's next, because I can't remember.
28 weeks, right?
Yes. Yep, we were recording, we were almost, we were at the end, and I hadn't put in the document the little part that says what's coming, so we just skipped it and kept going.
Because that would have been, whatever. Because we did like a Halloween episode or something.
No, this was Independence.
Maybe that was Resurgence.
Yeah.
That was so again following up Resurgence, because that came out and then there were actually, because we released it for 4th of July. It was a holiday thing before the season started with 28 weeks. So it wasn't technically the season start yet, so we hadn't recorded that episode yet or whatever, so it was like,
yeah. Yep, I forgot to do it. See, we need the doc. That is something we figured out a long time ago, is we need to have the doc updated.
It's important. Literally, we have a doc for this episode right now just so we could do the beginning and cue that up of, hey everyone, welcome to the show, I'm Daphne, and I'm Pake, because if we didn't have that 6 seconds worth of like recording would be like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Who am I?
Yeah.
Where am I?
What are we doing?
Is this?
Yeah. Exactly. Crazy, isn't it? So this next one is all on me again, when we were doing 5 Nights at Freddy's. So the inspiration for 5 Nights at Freddy's came from criticism of Scott Cawthon's. No, I'm still doing it with an R. Cawthon's. Cawthon's. Okay. Inspiration for Freddy's, for Freddy Got Fingered, for Freddy's Nightmare, I don't know. Oh boy.
That must have been after Jack left.
After Jack left, because he would have corrected me, because he did earlier in the episode. Yeah. This one is from a little while back, I think. Maybe a year ago.
And then over on the Cast of the Rings podcast, they covered the Lord of the Rings, the Lord of the Rings Prime show that I can't think of the name of the show right now. But so.
Isn't it the Cast of the Rings is what the podcast is.
That's the podcast.
But oh my god. It's one of those things where it's not written down and I don't... Oh, okay, so the Rings of Power.
That's it. And then over on the Cast of the Rings, of course, the podcast set up to cover the Amazon Prime Lord of the Rings show, the Rings of Power. So you can go check their coverage out because... hang on. I'll blip. Let me finish that
Stop.
one. Let me go
rewind.
back.
Yes.
Just words out of a bowl. See if I can get them in the right order. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm not watching that show right now, but yes, do go check it out because they are incredible people doing an incredible job, I assume. Again, I'm not listening because I'm not watching, but they're lovely podcasters and they do a fantastic job. So definitely go check out their coverage if you like that show.
Absolutely. Yeah, so here's the next one.
And lastly, step outside of Podcastica just a little bit as we always give our love to our friends over at TV Podcast Industries that you just took away from me.
I did. I didn't mean to. I was going to look something up and then it took over. It took a weird turn.
Yeah.
So what happened there was I was trying to add something quickly to the doc because I realized someone released something in between when I updated the doc and when we were recording feedback. But instead of adding anything, I actually deleted what was there.
Just straight up deleted the plug that I was reading.
Yes.
Currently at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, we live and die by the doc. And yeah, this is also interesting. Besides just like bloopers and outtakes, hopefully you guys find some of this like really funny. But also, again, it's a little interesting. We're just like pulling back the curtain. You're like learning more of like behind the scenes how recording this show goes sometimes and some of the like technical stuff goes about it. And I'm just being very honest, like the whole Rings of Power thing. I just said, typically in an episode, I'm not going to have like a, as you said, because you said you took it out. When we talk about like, I don't even watch this show right now. I'm usually not going to say something like that, but this is a no holds barred behind the curtain with the real us today.
Yeah. And we both love Penny and Anwin who record Cast of the Rings. They're fantastic. But if you don't watch the show, usually you have to watch the show to listen to the podcast. Although Damien used to...
very lost.
Damien would always listen to our podcast, even if he hadn't watched the movie. Sometimes it would get him to watch it or not. So, this is a fun one.
As opposed to the other ones, which were so non-fun. No. TV Podcast Industries coverage of all of that. And then they are starting up the next show. They just keep rolling one into the next with Dead Boy Detectives. I can't say the word detectives for some reason. It's the alliteration. It's the D's. Dead Boy. All right.
I actually thought that I had taken that out, but I left it in. So I'm glad I did. Dead Boy Detective. Say that 3 times fast.
I couldn't. Detectives.
This next one is fun. I think you've only done it. This was the second time that you did this.
Aside from all of that, you can make sure to come right back here next week to Wilhelm to see what we're doing. Daphne, what are we doing next week?
I don't know what's going on Wilhelm, but you just said come back to check out Wilhelm.
Oh yeah, check out Wilhelm next week. Don't listen to this podcast. Only go check out the Oscar episode of Wilhelm and then just listen to Wilhelm from now on. And don't come back here. No.
Oh my God.
We don't want you anymore. Go to bed.
Didn't this happen once with Strange Indeed?
I think I called it Strange Indeed once too.
You did. But that was, Peg, that was like 3.5 years ago.
Right.
So that was back in March.
Sometimes I forget what podcast I'm doing. All right.
You say that, and right now I think I'm on 3 a week. It feels like 70, but it's just 3. Okay, and this one is very recent. I think you'll probably remember this one.
No, the feedback this week, we're going to just go right into it. All right, there's some feedback and stuff. Almost had some shit. Catherine said some shit. If you want to send feedback, you know what to do. You've heard a bunch of episodes. You know where to send it. If you want to listen to other stuff, there's some really cool stuff going on in the podcast. Go to the website. You've heard it a million times. Check those podcasts out. All right, what are we doing next week? That sounds great, Daphne. All right, bye.
If you have to run, you better run for your lives. Bye.
If you got to run, because I do. Bye.
I think you were going to see Deadpool.
Yeah, there's a lot of times. Because we record on Thursdays, and so a lot of times, if I'm trying to go opening night to a Marvel movie or something, we're like running up to we're recording, and then I gotta go. And then So it was kind of started from that as a joke, and I was like, "Would I just run through all of the feedback and plugs as fast as I can, jokingly?" Yeah.
Yep. This is what I deal with on a weekly basis.
Also, notice Ben has pointed it out to me, and at first I was like a little insecure about it, but I've grown to just accept it as who I am. But he's right that I giggle a lot. I'm just very laughy.
You
all
are.
the time.
But that's
It's like 80% of this is just me going. But
No, it's great. Come on. It's one of the best things about you. You know how to have fun and giggle at yourself, and that is amazing. Okay, so the next one. Oh, yes. This one goes quite a ways back. Well, things start to go a bit crazy at that point because as Spike is eating... Spike. Oh
there you go.
God. See? See what's happened? I'm taking this out, too. I don't want to sound bad. Okay. So that was from Gremlins, and Pake had already told me and reminded me that it's Stripe, not Spike.
Mm-hmm.
And yet I did it again.
Like Britney Spears.
Oh, man. So this one has to do with our feedback phone, kind of.
All right. I should probably go answer it before it starts
You
busting
better.
up through the floorboards. Let me go get
Yes. Oh.
Could we interest you in some chocolate?
it. I don't know why that played. Sorry, wrong number.
I don't know if there's ever a wrong number for chocolate, Pake.
Yeah, because I have it's a YouTube video. Like, again, let's go. We're breaking into behind the fourth wall today. That's what we're going to do. It's fine. Yeah, because literally the feedback phone every week is me pulling up a YouTube playlist on my phone and holding my phone up to my microphone and playing. And so I've just got it in a playlist of saved videos. And for some reason, instead of just like pausing the feedback phone video, which is literally just that Jurassic Park 3 ringtone on loop for like 10 hours, so I can just pull it up and hit play on it. Instead of stopping it, I hit the next video in the playlist. I hit like the next button instead of pause. And it was that clip from SpongeBob for some reason.
It's great. These are the types of things that happen.
Yeah.
It's great. Okay, we're down to the last two. So
Man, this is a quick one.
I know. Here is the next one. Next week, we are continuing the creepy factor. Or next week, we are continuing our descent down the creepy films. I don't know.
We're gonna rock down to the creepy avenue.
And this last one, yeah, there's just something about it that I thought it would be good to end the episode on.
I have a feeling
No,
I
you
know where this one's going.
No, you don't. What do you think it is? Tell me.
We'll see.
No, I don't. It might not be as good as you think it's going to be, but I think it's one of the best things that ever. So we'll see. I think at the end of our episode, Pake, and I'll take this part out, I think you should, instead of saying bye-bye, you should say sometimes dead is blah.
Yeah.
You gotta do it. I'm gonna...
if I remember.
You know what? I'm gonna put it on the feedback notes so that we can remember. Because I think it's important that we do it. Sometimes dead is... That was one of my favorite endings. That movie was so not good. And yet, we found something to get hilarious about, basically, to laugh. And it just continued on. It was just a thing. What did you think it was going to be?
I thought you were going to pull back when I was having the technical issues.
Have you had problems with technology on this podcast?
Oh. Oh no, my internet connection has always been pristine. Always and forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did have some honorable mentions that I didn't put in, but I think we could go through a couple of them. And unfortunately, was up against some really stiff competition in the Oscar season.
Yeah. Speaking of Godzilla -1, took that best international feature. So.
You know what?
No.
No,
Yeah,
it didn't.
I'll go back on that.
Yeah, no.
It took the effects. That's right.
Yeah,
Took
so
the visual effects.
redo that if you want.
No, I'm good.
You're going to leave it
We'll
the way it is?
No,
Okay.
we're just going to take that out completely.
Okay. All right. Yes. We're going to take that out completely.
Mm-hmm. Never to be heard by anyone ever.
Until today.
Yeah, because I thought I had a great transition, this little segue, and then I realized, nope, did not.
No, definitely not. There was also, I think this one, because you have a tendency to sing on the podcast. Oh. So, yeah, there's that. Yeah, you have a tendency to do some singing.
Be my little baby. Oh, Danny boy. He got knocked down. Ain't getting up again. Yeah, is Axel Shirley keep him down? Did that not make it into the final cut of that episode?
Oh, no, it did, but I liked it, and I wanted to bring it back. Because you know that album you're doing with all your best songs from Run for Your Lives.
Uh-huh.
Sure. Yeah. Then this one, I don't know, I didn't think this one was quite funny enough to make it. One thing that was really cool about this is, oh God. I have no idea what I was going to say. I was looking for my note thinking I could find it.
I'll figure it out. I'll just vamp
I'll
until it comes
transition
to
to her.
No. Nope, I got it.
Just do like an
Okay.
Ashley Simpson and do a little jig.
Blah, blah, blah. No.
We just get a little musical number there.
No. Not really. Oh, yeah, and then there was this little ditty.
All right. Kate Carter, a retired tornado chaser and meteorologist, is persuaded to return to Oklahoma to work with a new team and just two technologies. No. Only two. No.
That was recently when we were doing Twisters. And then this is also an old favorite. There's no Elmo.
No, he hasn't been introduced into the lore yet. That's next week's.
I do.
But I'm going to have to try to remember to end next week's feedback with a bye-bye!
Yeah, you are.
Mm.
You're going to have to. Cassidy, there's nothing in here for you. Why are you crying? There's nothing in here for you. There's no ferrets in there. They're in bed.
Elmo wants to read a feedback!
And these... Okay.
Might even do that too next week.
Really?
If somebody leaves, not the whole thing, but just like one of them, find somebody that leaves one. If somebody has one that has like F-bombs or something, if somebody curses in their feedback, Elmo wants to read a feedback, and then he'll get to that. And then I can be like, I can't say that one. Like, I could do that.
I will say that. And this one. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Hold on just a second. Oliver, the rubbing on things up here is not going to work while I try to read this last part. Yes, Oliver was a big part of our podcast because he used to sit on my desk while we were recording. Unfortunately, he passed away about 2 years ago, and none of my other cats have really made the case for becoming the official podcast cat, so we don't really have one.
Mm-hmm. So other than when, like in the clip before that, where Cassidy decides to just meow, meow, meow in the background, you've got that going.
Yeah,
for you now.
I do. It's great. And then I didn't touch on any of these.
This episode is the adventure horror film Anaconda, directed by Luis Leo. I haven't even looked at this name yet. So, Losa?
Losa.
Yosa?
Losa.
I don't.
It's
There's two L's, so
Losa.
I'm like, Yosa.
For some reason, there were multiple from Anaconda.
All right. Okay, I'm going to start that over because when does not start that and it would make it grammatically not make sense. So.
We're already off to a great start.
Yes, it'll be great. All right.
Okay, so I'm taking this part out. Our listeners are going to think we have no idea what movie we're covering.
So anyway, Jennifer Hudson is busy doing.
Okay. So it was
Jennifer
really...
Aniston.
If I could reach through and smack you upside the head right now, I would. Oh, wait. I'm going to see you in a few days, and I'll do it when I see you. Okay, so Jennifer Lopez in that scene. Are you sure it was Jennifer Lopez?
I believe so.
That's the question.
Yeah. It could be so many Jennifers.
And the moral of the story is, if you're going scuba diving or going underwater, you should check your equipment to make sure that there are no poisonous wasps in the mouthpiece. Venomous. Venomous! Oh my god! I am removing this. I am.
No, because that's a joke. Because I even have my notes. I was like, a deadly poisonous wasp. Venomous wasp.
Venomous wasp.
I did have to look that up to make sure. It's funny. Anytime we're talking snakes, if it's a snake movie, the venomous poisonous conversation will come up, even when it's about a wasp.
Yes. For some reason, we had like 5 outtakes from Anaconda.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nobody can ever say we don't have fun recording this podcast.
No.
It's just ridiculous things.
We definitely have a lot of fun. We won't be asking our listeners for any feedback on this one, I don't think. Will we? No, because I don't know. No.
What are your favorite things you never heard us say?
So instead, we'll be going into thank you for joining us on this journey. And
yeah, I'll get to do the plugs for whatever current episodes of different podcasts are going on that week that this actually comes out, because we record in advance, so we're not doing it right now because I'll have to wait and see. But Rings of Power should probably still be going, so check that show out. Since we love it so much. I mean, we love the podcast, absolutely. But,
we definitely do.
But yeah, that's going to be a running thing. We're going to have Penny and Anwin coming after us now.
I just can't fit another show in.
Yeah, it's too much stuff to watch. And so I was like, man, I already have 0 time in my week. What do I want to do about it? I don't know. Let's see if I can put together another role-playing game online with some people. So now I'm in the process of trying to put that together. So.
Yes, but that's going to be so much fun. And I know that you're going to kill it.
Yeah. Well, then, I'm not even going to let the feed bone.
And now
Outtakes. It's staying in because this is a feedback episode. So. Or not. Your Outtakes episode. I've lost it. Okay. See, in real time. And again, none of this has to come out because what's the point of this anyway? So you just got one in real time. That's fun.
Yep.
It's a feedback episode about our feed bones.
Did you just say feed bones?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's good.
So no feedback phone this week because there's no feedback, but we'll be with you in just a few seconds from the past future with plugs for stuff you should go check out.
If you'd like to submit feedback, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Run For Your Lives Podcast. You can email us at runforyourlivespodcast@gmail.com. And if you're enjoying the show, tell your friends. We are available on all the podcast players, including Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Go to runforyourlivespodcast.com for all the links you'll ever need. And give us a review on Apple Podcasts, as that's the best way to share the love and get us out there even more. We really appreciate it.
We do indeed. And of course, speaking of sharing the love, got to give those shout outs to things going on in the podcast universe around us. And speaking of indeed, my usually other podcasts, strange indeed. Back releasing episodes right now, although sans me, I'm not on there right now. I have too much to do. No. So behind on so many things, but I love that it's coming back. Rima and a rotating guest cast of people who are available week to week. Wendy, Greg, maybe some others as they continue going through the Great British Baking Show, which I guess is officially the title of it that they're going with kind of across the board now. Still Bake Off in some circles, but like it's, you know what it is. Yeah, people know the show. So yeah, I love that, when BBC, I assume it's BBC, and Netflix are kind of simultaneously releasing them, maybe like a day or two difference. When new season's coming out, then over on Strange Indeed, there's coverage of that you can, which is weird because, we cover a lot of horror and sci-fi and thriller kind of things over there. So it truly is strange indeed that we also love having Bake Off or the baking show in that feed as well. So yeah, so go check out Rima, Wendy, Greg, any other guests and stuff talking about Bake Off over there. Always a blast. So check that out. Of course, lots of other great Podcastica stuff as well. The cast of us covering The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, The Book of Carol, which is season 2. There's so many subtitles. But yeah, go check that out as well. The first 2 episodes. I'm loving it. I'm loving Daryl Dixon right now. I really enjoyed the first season, and the second season has been incredible as well so far. So definitely check out their coverage over there. Of course, that is Jason and Lucy. And then on the Marvel TV cast, Jem and Penny have been covering the Disney Plus Marvel series Agatha all along, so you can go check out their coverage of each episode as they come out as well over there. Again, links to all of these on podcastica.com, so you're not having to search out all of these podcast names that I mentioned, but so you know what to look for. If you like Agatha, go check out Marvel TV cast. Also, What Is From cast, continuing on, Alex and Lizzie with the MGM Plus show From, which, man, this show just keeps getting better, and it's getting more buzz. People are picking up on it. People are starting to watch it. I've had people come up to me like, "Oh my god, have you heard of this new show? Like, it's in its 3rd season, but like I didn't even know it existed." It's like, I've been here since the beginning. But yeah. But yeah. I'm glad people are catching on.
Last night I was at trivia and one of the answers was Lost. And I was talking with the trivia host, Joe, and just letting him know, hey, there's this show. It's been on a couple seasons now, but it's by the same people. You might like it. Yeah,
man. And it's this now in season 3. I'm not spoiling anything, but like it's getting losty.
It is. But I'm hoping that they learn something from Lost.
And I love it because I loved Lost a ton. What I loved about it was the insane questions and cliffhangers, and like where instead of answers they just give you a bucket more, questions. As long as that they can wrap it up at some point. Lost kind of fumbled on some of those by the end. Unfortunately, I still think it's a great show and it still holds a big place in my heart. So I'm hoping that, yeah, like you said, maybe with From, they've learned from that it's the same formula as far as, we could answer that question, but how about we give you 20 more mysteries instead and just really drive you crazy? But I have hope that they will pull things together in however many seasons they plan on doing things, but the story is getting very intriguing, and so if you're a fan of Lost, check out From, for sure. And Alex and Lizzie have been doing the immediate reaction videos over on YouTube. As soon as the episode's over, you can go over to the Podcastica YouTube channel, and they've been putting up those immediate reactions there, and they've actually been having cast members from the show talk about the episodes with them each week, which has been incredibly cool.
Yeah, they're doing a great job over there.
Yeah. And then another thing, if you are listening to Podcastica and have other things that you love outside of TV and movies and things that we usually nerd out about, especially or specifically sports fans that are listening to this right now that are Podcastica fans, there is a new podcast. It's like a Sportscastica offshoot here on Podcastica. It is hosted by David, Paul, and Greg, and they're talking all things sports. The first episode is up now, and it's kind of a deep dive into the idea of, right now, like in baseball, sacrifice bunts and stuff aren't used as much anymore, and some things like that. I think they're talking about certain, just the way that sports evolve over time, and I'm interested to see kind of what other ideas and deep dives and things that they go into it. But yeah, so if you're a sports fan listening to Podcastica stuff, there's a little bit of that sports itch that's going to be in this network now. So check out Sportscastica. It's kind of a big project for David that he's been wanting to do for a while, so go check it out.
Yeah, it's very cool. I think they also released another episode about hockey, about a hockey rivalry.
Nice.
Too. So yeah, it's very cool. I like what they're doing. It's not like news.
Yeah.
They're deep diving into specific sports stories of the past. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So make sure to check that out. There's lots of good Podcastica stuff. But of course, outside of Podcastica, we always give some love to our good friends over at TV Podcast Industries, doing great stuff, working on Rings of Power and Agatha All Along right now. So you can go check out their coverage of those shows there. And of course, lastly, Buffalo. We plug it every week. But if you want to hear more of me and Daphne, along with our friends Jeff and Jerry, you can always check out Buffalo, where, again, we break out of the TV and movie conversations and just talk about anything and everything and whatever, and drive each other crazy, and specifically that, by I mean just drive Daphne crazy with as many puns and jokes and stupid things we can say. But yeah, it's a blast. We've been having a lot of fun playing games and stuff over there, and stay tuned to it. It's not like in the next episode or two, but we did just record a live, like, in-person episode, the four of us together with some special guests, and I'm excited for that to come out in a few weeks. It's going to be a lot of fun for people to hear. So yeah, get into the podcast, the episode. There's like not really deep lore, but hey, if you listen to all of them, there's bits that return, and there's through lines, and there's little things. So we're having fun over there. So.
And every once in a while, I can get one over on the guys. I try. It's very difficult, but recording that episode in person was so much fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I hope we get to do one again sometime, because it was just cool to be in the same place and like not have it be like a virtual recording, like see your body language and be able to hang out and stuff. So it was great. And we played a really fun game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something different that we usually can't do on, the podcast normally when we're all separated and different areas. So to be together, we can actually play a game that we can only do together. So that was really cool.
Yeah, it was great.
And of course, lastly, you can always come back right here next week to Run for Your Lives. We'll have something fresh and fun and new for you. What are we doing next week, Daphne?
Well, we're diving into the world of M. Night Shyamalan again. And if you remember, the first time we dove into that, or went down that path,
what?
We had a ton of fun. So I won't give too much away, but I will say this. When a doting dad takes his daughter to a Lady Raven concert, he quickly realizes the entire event is an elaborate plan to trap a serial killer. Yes, we are covering the 2024 film Trap. It was directed by M. Night Shyamalan, stars Josh Hartnett, and the film was a collaboration between him, M. Night Shyamalan, and his daughter Salika. So she did the music, he did the story, and I think we have a rather fun time talking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a newer one, so if you haven't seen it, haven't checked it out, go ahead and do that, and then next week we'll be here to talk about it, give us your thoughts, things like that. We'd love to hear from you.
Definitely. And with that, we've reached the end of a particularly funny episode of Run for Your Lives. We hope that you enjoyed our look at some of the outtakes from previous episodes. Thanks everyone for listening. I'm Daphne.
And I'm Pake.
And if you have to run, you better run for your lives.
Ba-ba-boo-ba-ba-ba-bow, bow, 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 bow.